Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. Thank you for coming to our presentation today. For today's Open Access Week presentation, we've invited some developers from Rutgers University Library to discuss some open access tools that we make available for campus initiatives. In particular, we're going to be talking today about Alma Digital for student scholarship, Open Journal Systems or OJS for journal publishing, and Pressbooks is a tool for developing open access textbooks. So again, I'm Antonio Barrera. We're going to do 15-minute presentations followed by a few minutes of question and answer for each one of those sessions. So our first panelist today is Chad Mills. He's a developer here at the libraries, and he's going to be presenting on Alma Digital and with a focus on student scholarship. Chad?
Thank you, Antonio. I'm just going to share my slide deck. How's that look for everyone? Is that good? Yep. All right. So what I'm here to really discuss is Alma Digital and how we're using it for student scholarship. So to begin, the real question is, what is Alma Digital? It's basically any sort of digital services related to Alma that are related to Alma, handling digital collections that have files or are intended to have some sort of file delivery and file storage in Alma. When you really think of Alma in general, there's the concept that there's Alma P, Alma E, and Alma D. Alma P is for print. So that'd be your physical collection. Alma E is for your electronic collections, and then Alma D is digital. So,
Chad?
Yep.
Not to interrupt, but we're seeing your the presenter's version. So your notes and your next slide.
Oh. That's okay. I really don't have any more notes. So,
all right, sounds good.
Most people don't want to see my next slide. Is that any different?
Nope.
No. Okay. So I've been told like every presentation now has to have something to do with AI. So this is my AI slide, and this will be it. This is what Open Art thinks Alma Digital is. So take that at face value. I think we're okay in this area. It has no idea what Alma Digital is. The student scholarship pilot really started in 2021 based on what happened in 2020 that we all know. The world got turned upside down, and largely student poster sessions and any sort of student scholarship that we were providing services for moved online into a virtual space. In 2020, this shift happened very rapidly, very quickly. And what we did as an organization, really just a couple people here, provided a major lift by accepting students' posters for a couple collections and also a video presentation, getting them online through a website that they stood up rather rapidly, and managing a lot of these submissions just through email. It was a very arduous, painful process, many sleepless nights, and something that they didn't want to continue in 2021. So in 2021, late winter, early spring, when they knew these symposiums were going to continue to be virtual, we started looking for a better technical solution than email, spreadsheets, and handmade websites. After evaluating all the different options that we had as a library, we decided that we would try Alma Digital as a pilot for these. What Alma offers is a way for students to self-deposit through web forms. We don't have to program these web forms. We can configure them through Alma, which is nice if you're given the appropriate specifications. Once things are deposited by the student, they can be reviewed and approved through embedded workflows in Alma. So if you have an Alma account and you're used to using Alma, or even if you need to be trained on Alma after an hour or so of training, you can become an approver of these student deposits. Once they're approved, they're made available online immediately within 15 minutes. So maybe not as immediately, but pretty rapidly and pretty quickly. And there's no additional work done. Once you hit approve, it publishes the material to the collection discovery portion of QuickSearch. It's a relatively mature product at the time. We submitted about 15 to 20 issues that we had with Alma Digital during that first year pilot. Some Ex Libris were able to fix right away. Some issues, it took them a couple years. A lot of it, the issues that we found were largely related to the support for different sorts of video formats. And in the pilot project, the collections that we were hosting in Alma Digital did have a video presentation element to it. So that was important to us that we got that working right. So by the end of the pilot, Alma Digital was working better based on a lot of our feedback to Ex Libris. And not only all these things considered, it was already licensed and included in Alma. We already had it. We just hadn't done anything with it or tried anything with it. What Alma Digital didn't offer or still doesn't offer, it doesn't offer any way to mint persistent identifiers. So there's no DOI support if you're looking to publish items into Alma Digital, which may or may not be a good thing, depends on your collection. There's no digital preservation layer. So if somebody uploads documents and they are changed at the file system level, there's no way for us to know that. There's also no checking to make sure what they uploaded is what they said they uploaded. If they uploaded a PDF, there's no way for us to know that it's actually a PDF. There was no ability to exclude Alma Digital records from a general catalog search. We ended up configuring it so that this would be the case. So if you were to perform a search in the library catalog, you would not find these Alma Digital records. But out of the box, there was no native support for that. And as I mentioned before, there was not broad video format support. We ended up working with Ex Libris to have more video formats supported and in better ways, especially on mobile devices. The self-deposit, it's available out of the box to anyone with an Alma account. You can limit who could get access to a deposit form, but in general, we just leave them completely open. They're configured, like I said, by us in application development or through the general application support team, which handles a lot of Ex Libris tasks. If you're a depositor, you can start a deposit, pause it, put it in draft mode, come back a day or a week later, continue it for finally submitting it and saving it, which is nice. And if your deposit for whatever reason is returned, not even rejected, because rejected is another option, but returned for some reason, the student can log back in and they can either change metadata, but in most cases it's just change files. Perhaps they uploaded a file that was incomplete or not working well. So it does offer that ability so that a student doesn't need to resubmit entirely. The review and approval workflows in Alma, everything happens in Alma. You can assign individuals review for submissions. So at certain points, depending on the size of the project, there are student workers available. So somebody can go in as a stakeholder and assign submissions to that student worker to further review and approve or reject or return. So that capability is native as part of the processing workflow. Any communication that's sent to the student who submitted it, the depositor in this case, is usually handled through email, but it's all handled automatically in Alma, so you don't have to send email manually. Submissions can be rejected, as I mentioned. Once they're rejected, you supply a note, student gets an email, and they might subsequently then ask some follow-up questions. And once things approved, they're made available in QuickSearch, as I mentioned before. So as far as acceptance has gone so far, in 2021, we piloted 4 collections. There was a little over 600 deposits total that year that were approved and made available through the collection discovery interface. The following year, we onboarded 3 more collections, had a little less activity as far as deposits goes, but we expanded the number of collections that we were supporting in Alma Digital. 2023, we had no new collections added, a little bit of shrinkage again on the number of deposits. This year, we added another collection, but our 2024 approved deposit number is incomplete at this point. I know Isaiah is the one who really handles a lot of these things, is about to approve a large batch of deposits. So this number is continuing to grow this year. So I was first going to show this live, but for the sake of time, I just took some screenshots. What you see here are really 2 screenshots. The one on top is what the dashboard looks like as a student once you log in. In this case, I don't have any deposits, so there's nothing listed there. If you click on Create Deposit, you are given some options as far as where do you want to have your deposit go, right? So selecting, say, one of these will give you a different submission form based on the criteria or the requirements of that project. Here's a sample of what a deposit form looks like. The fields with the red asterisks are required. You can't submit the form until you actually supply the required fields. There is the option to allow people to select from control vocabulary terms, one or many. That would be, in this case, the programs associated with your project. You can add multiple values that are free text. That's something like the contributor field here. You can upload one or many files, different types of files, PDFs, video files, PowerPoints, whatever it is. And then there is a terms and conditions that we do enable that you do have to check off in order to submit a deposit. This is what it would look like if you were to fill it in. Isaiah and Yang are my contributors here since they're presenting with me today. So this is what the dashboard looks like after you've submitted. I also added a draft submission just to give you an idea of what a draft might look like. If you were to just not submit but save as draft, you could then go back later and edit it. You could withdraw it completely. Items that are in draft mode in Alma, we have no idea they exist. We don't see them. We have no idea that we have no access to them. There are jobs to clean up draft deposits if they are stale for too long, but we haven't really done that yet. It hasn't been an issue as far as space is concerned. And they will just remain in the patrons associated to the patrons account until they decide that they want to withdraw them or complete the submission. This screenshot is what it actually looks like in Alma when you're actually looking at deposits that have come in. In the top half of the screen, you'll see that there's an unassigned deposit called Chad's demo deposit. From there, you can decide if you want to work on that and approve it, or if you want to assign it to somebody else. When it is assigned to you, it does get moved into your Assigned to Me tab. From there, you can bulk approve things through a checkbox, or decline or return, really your choice. Or you could dive down in to the record itself, look at the metadata that the depositor provided, confirm that everything looks complete. You can go into the inventory section, check the files, make sure that they're okay. And from here, you could decide if you wanted to return, decline, or approve. So once things are approved, how do you find them? How do people discover them? If you go through QuickSearch in general, there is along the top a button called Collection Discovery. From there, you will see a whole slew of collections. The one that we're really focused on today is the student scholarship collection. That's going to be the white box lower in the middle. I should also note that collections in Alma Digital are nested. You could have sub-collections, and those sub-collections can have sub-collections. So going into there, you start to see these are the larger projects and collections that we created. And you can continue to go down in, and there is a relatively simple search that is available if you want to do a simple keyword search. They don't offer complex searching capabilities from this interface. Faceting, things like that are just not available, title searches, etc. You can basically sort simply or just do a keyword search. And going into a full record in the collection discovery interface, it's just like looking at a full record in our catalog. You have the same options. The only difference is you have digital versions available and you can select those to view them. And if there's one or many, so in this case, there's just one PDF, but if there was a video, you could watch the video presentation as well, directly from this. And that's what I have.
Very good. Thank you, Chad. If you have a question, you can put it in the Q&A section. We do have a question from Maria. Could you show some of the projects that were approved and are available? Do they have a persistent link? So the first part of that, as Chad demonstrated, you can find the approved projects in the collection discovery interface of QuickSearch, and then the student scholarship collection will have those projects. Second question, part of that, do they have a persistent link? Presumably this is the projects.
Yes, they do. So the collection IDs that are created for the projects are persistent. So even if the collection were to be moved around throughout the structure, they would be you could reference them or continue to reference them.
Okay. Hopefully that answers that question. Any other questions? Okay. So if you are interested or a school is interested in providing student scholarship this way, please make sure you reach out to your subject liaison or your campus director, library director, to get that process started. Thank you so much for that, Chad. And that will bring us to our second panelist, Isaiah Beard, another member of the applications and development team, and he's going to cover Pressbooks. Isaiah.
Thank you, Antonio. Let me go ahead and switch over here. Are we in the same situation where my notes are being shown instead of the slide, or?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. All right. So yes, about Pressbooks. For several years now, Rutgers University Libraries have supported Pressbooks as a publishing platform to support our open access textbooks initiative and the open and affordable textbooks program. We have an incentive program in place to award research funds to Rutgers faculty who make their courses more affordable, and publishing instructional materials over a platform like Pressbooks helps students reduce the cost of learning significantly. So Pressbooks, this is an open source web-based publishing platform, and it's designed to help authors and institutions create, format, and share books and educational resources. Its main feature is that it offers an intuitive platform that provides a simple process for creating and formatting content without requiring advanced technical skills. The software is actually based on WordPress, which is a pretty well-known and popular blogging platform that's been around for a little over a decade now. And as part of that WordPress DNA, Pressbooks is also great in that it supports collaboration. So it allows multiple authors and editors to work on a project simultaneously. So we can support multiple co-authored works, collaborative educational materials with multiple collaborators, with multiple editors and contributors as well. Above and beyond offering just a textbook, authors can enhance their content too by embedding multimedia elements like videos and interactive activities, including quizzes, to engage students and enrich the learning experience. And Pressbooks works published on Pressbooks can be exported in multiple formats, including webbooks, EPUBs, PDFs, and other formats, so that an electronic textbook created here can also be published and used elsewhere. So this is important because an open textbook made here doesn't have to permanently live on this one specific place, but it can also be used by students on a variety of other platforms. All right, so I probably should have made screenshots like Chad did. Instead, I chose to live dangerously and demonstrate this live. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so what I'm showing here is our teaching support page for the Open and Affordable Textbooks program. So this advertises on the library's website what we do and what we offer, including that incentive program. So we're encouraging both full and part-time faculty and curriculum developers to do a number of things as they're working through their instruction. We would hope that they'd like to adopt basically replacing a traditional textbook with a free or low-cost alternative. They can replace textbooks in their instruction with multiple articles, book excerpts, audio or video that's licensed by the libraries already. Or they can create their own works. And that's really what we're trying to support with Pressbooks. So the main Pressbooks page pretty much lays out what they're about. And we're actually in pretty good company in terms of the types of adopters that we have for this platform. So it's not just Rutgers, of course, but we have a few listed universities here. I've also seen implementations at University of Illinois, University of Washington, Nebraska, Minnesota, Michigan State, and SUNY, State University of New York. So there are plenty of adopters of this platform out there, and a very rich community of utilizers and developers of this particular platform. So this is what the main page looks like. We're at openpub.libraries.rutgers.edu, and I'll switch back to my slides once I'm done demonstrating to list a few of the important URLs that are relevant here. So this is our main front page. You pretty much sign in using your NetID, which has already happened in this case. We do have a catalog that shows all of our currently published open textbooks using this platform. So right now we have about 4 completed works here. I'm going to show one in particular. This one is called Community Interventions in Obesity-Related Chronic Diseases. This is probably our most recently published book. And this is the dashboard that you see when you're in the process of editing or creating a new book. So it's very user-friendly. You have different options to edit your book info. So you can put in your basic metadata or descriptive information for your publication. Your title. If you have any shorter subtitles, you can list all of your authors and editors. We have options here for translators, reviewers, illustrators, and we can go into publication date. If we have ISBNs, those can be entered as well, including a DOI, a digital object identifier. Going back to our dashboard here, we have other options here. We can create themes. We can add users. So if we want to create, if we want to provide access to different authors, we can of course do that as well. And then we can also look at the structure itself by organizing the book. So we can create our front matter, acknowledgments, the introduction, table of contents. And then we can also subdivide our book, of course, into chapters. So each chapter becomes its own section where you can provide content. And if you go into a chapter, you pretty much get a WYSIWYG style interface. And those of you who may have used WordPress in the past, this may look very, very familiar to you, or any other particular blogging software. Because again, this has that Pressbook DNA. So it has a nice what you see is what you get editor. You can pretty much type and format as you need to. There are options to add tables. I think we have a couple of, well, not in this particular chapter. Let me go into a different one here. We have the options to edit, to enter media, diagrams. Oh, this is not one either, sorry. So I should have noted that. So let's see. I'm really not lucking out on that today. But the option exists to add illustrations, media, and again, video into these different chapters to make them interactive. So what a user ends up seeing is going into, if we visit the book itself, this is the user interface. So somebody who wants to read this book gets to see this title sort of open doorway page. All I have to do is click read the book. There's the main acknowledgments. And then we have a contents page that allows us to look at our chapters. And we can go ahead and navigate to each of those different chapters and read the content as we need to. As you see, we have an outline pretty much in the beginning of the page. And then we have all of our different sections here that sort of describe what's going on. Oh, look, here's our media. So we can look at cancer statistics at a glance, which unfortunately is a dead link at this point. So, this is one of those challenges, and this is true when you're also publishing a book on other platforms as well, is keeping those links up to date. So this is probably something we'll have to talk to the author about. But again, we have the option here to look at media, to provide citations for our media, where it came from, and link to other information dynamically as well. So we have this interface that allows students to look at this directly within our platform. We also have the option to look at, excuse me here. Let me go back to the dashboard, because we also have the option to export content as well. So as I mentioned, the material doesn't necessarily have to live on this one platform. It can also be exported into different formats. The possibility of EPUBs, other XML for other Pressbooks platforms. We can export into HTML, and then of course, create EPUBs and PDFs. So this example is something I pointed out because we also have a copy of it exported to PDF in RU Core. So if a student wants to look at this in, I guess you could say, a more traditional format, they can do so. We can get a PDF copy of it, and they're able to just download a more traditional online format and navigate it appropriately that way. So let me go back to my relevant URLs here in case you want more information about Pressbooks and how we offer it. All right, so our main Pressbooks link, openpub.libraries.rutgers.edu. If you go to /catalog, this will take you to the catalog of published open textbooks that we currently have. And then, of course, there's the libraries page for the main open and affordable textbooks program. Also, I have my list here of some of the platform users that are of note for Pressbooks. And if you're interested in open textbooks for instructional use, we do have liaisons that you can contact with our various units for more information on how to publish on Pressbooks. All right, thank you all for your attention, and I guess we can take questions now.
Very good, thank you. So, question from Elizabeth York. If I understand correctly, Pressbooks is a user-friendly platform, but it's not for long-term preservation, right? While in contrast, SOAR might be a good place for long-term preservation of the PDF exported from Pressbooks.
So I would say that's an accurate assessment, and I think that's why it's a good practice if you want preservation to export it into a stable format like a PDF and put it into a repository like RU Core, like we've done with the example that I've shown here. So yes, Pressbook is like many online web platforms. It's dynamic. It's designed for living documents, and it is not permanent, and it's not there for preservation. That's really what our repository is for. So definitely I would explore options for exporting into more stable formats like PDF and putting into a repository if preservation is what you have in mind for these textbooks.
I don't believe the library currently has a distinct policy regarding Pressbooks to SOAR, but I know it's something that we've discussed and how these individual published items, once they're published, what the long-term future of those are. We only have a handful of books at this point that have officially been published. We have more in the works, but I think there's, I want to say 4 that are officially published through Pressbooks. Any other questions for Isaiah? And as noted, if you are interested, you can reach out to your local liaison about getting access and developing your book on Pressbooks. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for that. And that will bring us to Yang. And Yang is going to discuss Open Journal Systems, which is a service platform that we use for developing open journals. Yang?
Okay. Let me share the screen. This slide. Okay. OJS OJS stands for the Open Journal Systems. It's an open source software. It's a platform for managing the journal publishing online, of course. It's developed by and also maintained by PKP, Public Knowledge Project, which is currently staging at the Simon Fraser University, Canada. To use the software, there are 2 options for you to get it set up. One option is a traditional way to download the software. It's open source. Download it, install to your local server if you have one, or install to a cloud space like AWS. The second option, but if you do this first option, of course you have to maintain all the software upgrade, all the system maintenance, that sort of thing. But the second option is to use the PKP, the hosting service. PKP has its own hosting service, hosting the OJS on their site. You just need to subscribe to that and pay the fees. OJS at IUL, at Rutgers University Libraries. Rutgers Libraries has a long history of using the OJS as a publishing platform for the journals, starting from around 2002 or 3. And then by the time we have no option of using the PKP service, so we have to host the software ourselves on our own server. Around 2018, 17 or 18, we switched to using PKP's hosting service. That saved us a lot of problems. But of course, we have to pay the fee. There are currently 10 open access journals hosted in the IUL. We at Rutgers University Libraries provide editorial workflow training for the newcomers, for new people as editors. Whenever we have a new journal on board, we provide also the application support for the simple problems like the interface change, configuration, modification, that sort of thing. For the system level problems, we have to turn to our person to PKP technical support. These are the journals currently hosted at Rutgers University's libraries. There are 9 journals listed here. Recently, we acquired another journal, Art History, Pedagogy, and Practice. It's going to be alive very soon. So this slide, I borrowed the picture from the PKP website. It says very clearly what the OJS does. It's basically behaving as a publishing system from start to the beginning to the end. People submit also submit a journal to the website, and then the editor review it, send it to the peer reviewer, and then talking to the author and reviewer to get it, make sure it's publishable, and then if it's publishable, it will be sent back to author for the final copy editing, and then it'll get published to the website, to the journal website. There's no paper copy. And then there is all kinds of tools for you to get article discoverable in different platforms like Google Scholar, EOAJ, Crossref, and OAI. So next, I will do a small demonstration to see how the software works. Okay, so this is a journal hosted at IOL. This is New Jersey Studies. This journal is very active. It has many issues published, volumes issues published, basically twice a year. It's one of the actually most active journals right now we have. This one is RSD, Rutgers Undergraduate Research Journal. It's also active. It's run by the student editors, and because students graduate, onboard graduate, those editor changes. So we usually give the training for the new student editors once a year or 2 years. This is the Journal of Jazz Studies. This is also a very active one. It's run by the Institute of Jazz Studies. And this is the new one, Art History, Pedagogy, and Practice. This is going to be coming up pretty soon for our list. I will use NJS as a demonstration for the work we can do, because we have a lot of things, a lot of submitted article I can take as the example. Well, basically, to view the articles, you just click on the link. It will show you the abstract of that article, and then you can either view PDF online for the actual article content, or you can download PDF. So, as the author, you write an article you want to submit to the journal, to this journal. The first thing you need to do is to register. Register with the website. You'll get a username, password. You get an account, and then you log in as the author using the password. What you see is very simple interface. If you ever submitted this article before, it will be listed here. If some of the articles are already published, it will be listed in the archive tab. And now you can submit new articles. When you do that, you are presented with a very easy widget. You just enter the information specified here, and you agree to all the submission requirements. And then next step will be to upload the PDF of your article. It can be PDF. It's configurable. It can be mostly people submit PDF, but you can also submit Word document. Sometimes if it's configured, you can even submit a website. And then after that, you enter metadata. In the metadata, you just enter your title of the article, abstract, keywords, author list, that sort of thing. And then you're done. You just confirm and submit. So submission is very, very simple. After you submit the article, the editors of the journal will receive an email telling him or her that hey, somebody submitted something. So you as editor, if you log in as editor, you are in the journal management interface. You can see you have a lot of options here than the simple the authors login. But you can do many things here. But first thing first, you need to look at the submission, see what submission we have. For this journal, we can see that there are many submissions waiting to be worked on. So, for example, if you see, oh, there is a new submission here, I want to work on this. So the editor will pick this one. And then the first thing to do is to assign the people who can work on this article. Usually it's a co-editor or somebody else, as a associate editor, whoever you want to send the task to. So you need to assign people to work on that, and then you can discuss with the people who you assign to see whether this is something that we want to go ahead and get reviewed, or the content is totally out of the range of our article. I mean the journal policies should be rejected. So you can do something from here. All the discussions are recorded in this panel. So now, if you you have somebody assigned, you decide to go ahead to the review. Let me pick one which in the review stage. Yeah, this is one. So now we pass submission. Now we are in the review stage. We can assign a bunch of a few reviewers, peer reviewers. Of course, the reviewers need to have an account. We need we assign the article to this, and we communicate. The editor communicate with the reviewer to see if if they are willing to do the review, and the problem with the article, the opinions, whatever, and also they communicate with author, see what need to be changed. All the conversations are recorded in this panels. So if eventually you decided this article is acceptable for publishing, then you click the accept submission. That will take you to the copy editing. You will do the final copy editing for the article, and then it's ready for production. So the whole process of doing this workflow is pretty simple, and it's very straightforward. And when you do the publishing, when you finally click the publication, production, you say, okay, I will publish this article. In reality, it actually published to the issue. It attaches itself, the article, to an issue which is not yet published. And then we'll collect all the articles for that issue. You just need to create, you just go to the issue. For that specific issue, you say, okay, publish. When that is done, the article will appear for the whole issue. All the articles for that issue will appear. On the journal website. This is what you will see for the new issue. So basically, that's how the journal works. The process of doing the publication with this software is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I will stop sharing here and probably share the final slides, maybe. So these are the actual OE journal sites. This is the URL. If anyone wants to have the interest of publishing something, I mean, a great journal with the IUL, hosting a journal with IUL, this is not automatic. You have to talk to the Rutgers library's leadership to they will decide whether this is suitable or not. And they will give you the answer. And so this is the email to send to. And this is the email of my email and my colleague's email. That's for any technical issues you may have. So that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Yang. Thanks for covering that material for us and giving us a demonstration of those journals. Are there any questions for Yang or the panelists in general? So as demonstrated in Yang's presentation, we support journals also for students. There was the Aresti undergrad student one that's all student run. I mean, they have advisors, but the students are publishing. And in reality, these three tools are part of that suite of tools and processes that the libraries make for supporting open access. So today we covered student scholarship that we do through Alma Digital. Pressbooks, which is in support of our open access textbooks and book publishing for our faculty, and OJS, our open journal systems platform that we use for hosting journals. We are up to 11, right? 11 once the new one is formally published, which supports both student and faculty scholarship. So that's our presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Antonio.barrera@rutgers.edu, or any member of this team. And we have a question popping up. Jeff asked a question. Do we archive these journals in RU Core, or does PKP have a preservation strategy? Anyone can start that answer. We don't directly, I can tell you, we don't directly archive the journals in RU Core. As far as PKP's preservation strategy, Yang, do you know that?
PKP has archive for all the journals published on their platform if they host it. So for us, everything that we publish there is archived in their site. They claim that for anything that is no longer active, they will archive it in a very in the backend server. But because these journals are really version dependent, software version dependent, after 10 years, 20 years, whether the archived version can still be retrieved, be live, viewable. That's a question. But they claim that they have everything in their database.
Good, thank you. Any other questions? right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We truly are privileged to have you guys here and to listen to our work and what we have going on. And we thank our panelists for presenting the things that they are working on for us at the libraries. So thank you so much. Continue to enjoy your Friday. Have a good weekend, everyone.
All right.